Oh, hey guys. So, here at the next load, truck's idling, of course, because it's, like 100 degrees outside. Side note though, I did forget to mention on my last video that I see the rate cons, so transparency's here, which is kind of needed if you're doing percentage. And there's been a couple of times where I've gotten the rate con sent to me through a picture from the broker, the contact, whatever term you want to use, with wordings noting, like for example, drop, live load, or whatever. So she finds out, she just takes a picture of it, and sends it to me. So there's that. Anyways, though, now I know people are curious, why did I leave JCT? Now, like I said before, nothing to do with the truck or the money on that end. If the company didn't do some stuff over the course of a couple of years, eventually I just said, fuck it, I'm done with dealing with it. I would have stuck around and just been alright. I was fine with it. I mean, my bills were paid, I was living pretty comfortably, but the company's why I left, nothing to do with the truck. So people are still gonna say, oh, I know you were gonna fail to leave purchase. Again, separate the truck and company, because anything involving the truck I was okay with. Now I'm gonna start sort of with a first step, and in hindsight I probably should have told them to go fuck themselves at this point, but my mind was elsewhere, and by the time I thought about it and reflected back on it, I was alright, whatever, just move on. This is gonna be interesting. I don't know why he's blindsiding it, but okay. Now, back end of April to June, for those who've been around for a while, so last year, my mom lived in the hospital for 2 months. She almost died, and come to find out, it was a cross between pneumonia. She got really sick with pneumonia, and then her heart. It recently found out her heart's faulty, so she's got some permanent damage from it. But I found out in Texas. I was loaded on I-40 in Texas, heading to California. That when this happened, I immediately called the company. I was like, "Hey, you got to get me home. Like now, pretty much. That's all. My mom's dying. They don't know if she's gonna make it." What is this guy doing? People. They said it couldn't deliver the load. I was like, I'd rather just drop it here. Well, anyways, they eventually, between me stressing out, they eventually convinced me just to drop it. And I did that. Or I deliver it, I did. 2 days later, I was in a rental car heading up to the house. Well, I got the rental car and I got 3 yards. Oh, side note. I confirmed it with my DM because it was Friday when I dropped the truck off at the San Bernardino yard. I was like, hey, it's full. I'm still leaving my cat in there. He's got food, like full food and water, which lasts him like full bowl will last him like 2 weeks. I wasn't going to be gone that long, but he's got full water. He'll be fine for 4 days, because I was only going up there to make sure everything on my end, on power of attorney, set things up, see what's going on in person, and then go from there. I was going to be back within a week. That's what he's doing. Okay, he chose an interesting way to do it though. But also I can leave the truck there and that'll be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I was like, okay. I get 3 hours away, and I should have got this guy's name remembered it, because I got a call from so and so saying like, I'm lead of something. You need to turn around, go get your cat. Or we're gonna go in your truck and put them in the pound. And at the point I tried to explain, I was like, hey, I'm trying to rush home. My mom's dying, literally dying right now. It was like a 30% chance she was gonna live every day. And that was saying if she's lucky, It didn't look very good for the first week and a half. He says, I don't care, go get your cat. So I ended up going to get my cat, and he wanted proof on the way out. He wanted me to call when I was at the guard shack saying, here's the cat, here's the security guard to verify it. Which at that point, I was like, fuck it, I'm done dealing with this. He called me a couple hours later, and I was like, why didn't you call me at the shack? I was like, dude, the guy saw the cat. Call him if you fucking care at this point, because, the cat's not in the truck, it's all that fucking matters. Wasn't happy, but again, he kind of understood that he was no longer going to be able to convince me to do anything at this point. But I wasted 6 hours on that, because 3 hours, one way, I had to turn around and come back, and then 3 hours back to where I just originally was, and that's a 16-hour drive. Time's critical at that point, too. Like I said, hindsight, I would have told them to go fuck themselves right there. I would have probably turned around, unloaded my truck, and just went home and said, oh well, because to me, could have been that. I mean, to be fair, that was not generally how the people in the company treated me. That was just one. But that's the person I'm dealing with. That is to me the face of the company. For example, out here, I'm the face of the company, right? Now that was a first. At that point, I had been with JCT for over a year. So at that point, I hadn't really had any issues. Now JCT does have the typical company issues, communication, some micromanagement, etc. Like typical company issues. But at that point, it had nothing been major. It's been all minor stuff I was just dealing with. And if it was nothing but minor stuff, I would still be there. I wouldn't have left. A couple of the other things was like I said, if these weren't all stacked across 2 years and they kept happening, I would have been like, oh, okay, whatever, let's deal with it. But like, for example, they have certain places they want you to take the truck to get certain things done. Okay, fine, I understand, because you have accounts with them or vice versa. Well, then it is also your job, since you have these preferences, to have a giant cheat sheet for the driver. Meaning, if you only want tires and it loves, the driver should know up front. And if things change, that cheat sheet should be updated. A driver should not have to guess where they need to take the truck to get things done, especially when the driver's paying for it anyways. For example, I did a little load at the Walmart DC in Harrisonville, Missouri, and there's a Love's there, and a shop, and an Idiot 34. I was like, well, I also checked, and I got a haircut there too. I can bobtail too. But it delivered. Then went to the Love's, checked in. They said they want to be able to get to me the next morning. Cool. I need to do a reset anyways, and all I needed was DOT inspection. Simple fucking thing that need to be worked on. Simple. Well, everything was going fine and well until they went to go collect payment from JCT, and JCT rejected it. Service had already been done and provided. It took like 20 minutes. I called JCT and I was like, "What's going on?" And after sitting there on the phone, trying to argue with them and trying to convince them just to fucking pay for it, so like, why the hell we gotta create a problem over this? Especially since I'm the one paying for it, just fucking send another money. They wouldn't. They told me, which is funny. This part's funny. They told me they don't do DOT inspection at Love's, and they wanted me to drive an hour and a half north in the middle of reset, which I told them I'm literally in the middle of reset. It'll be done in like 12 hours to go get that done, and I'm the one paying for fuel. So the hour and a half, it's like 100 miles pretty much. If you do the math, like granted I'm empty, it's still gonna be like 10 gallons of fuel I'm wasting, so it's like $50. What the fuck? And the funny thing is, you tell drivers, a couple of drivers this, or random JCT drivers, they're like, oh yeah, I got a DOT inspection down at Love's just recently. It's like, so they don't even know at the fucking time. It's like, you get conflicting information. That's why a cheat sheet would be fucking nice. It is not my job when I'm trying to get work done on my truck to figure out, is this gonna be an issue? Can I go here? Not. Because I was getting a haircut there, getting a reset there. There was a shop there. That's efficiency. Why the hell would I want to drive an hour and a half north just for the DOT inspection when it's only $40 fucking dollars? Yeah, they're arguing with me over $40. Now Now, I will say, my experience may not be your experience. Okay? Like, it wasn't like I was a horrible driver for them or you just created headaches. No, I mean, I did my job for them. When I got into a Freightliner, it was February 2021. February 2021. Yeah, tongue twister. And from February 21 to February 22, I did 153,000 miles. I never missed an appointment. I was never late. I hardly rejected loads. Generally, if they threw a load at me, and it was in my, like, west of 35, or pretty much anything that was not northeast, I did for them. Pretty much the rule. Just give me a northeast, give me a night, I'll run. My paychecks obviously back that up too. I've posted 17 pay stubs where I ran for them. So that was one of the issues that one kept happening. That one was rather annoying to deal with. Really annoying. And then, for example, I kept running into this situation. Like, it seems like every little, I don't know how to explain this, but everything involved with JCT seems to be like a separate entity. Meaning, like, the shop on the yard is separate from, like, breakdown. And 3 Diamond Leasing, who also buys all the trucks, is separate from JCT. And so, and those two weren't those separate groups would not talk to each other very well. So miscommunication or communication that was completely not passed along, especially overnights and weekends, useless. Flat out useless. I don't know how many times I heard from in-office how frustrating it was over a different section of the company. Whether they were doing something or not doing something. Which, honestly, I shouldn't be hearing that, because I don't vent to you, oh, this fucking warehouse has helped me out for 10 fucking hours, I'm sort of blaming you like it's your fault. No, I'll tell you, hey, they helped me out for 10 hours, I'm a little annoyed, but that's it, But, for example, my truck broke down for the, that video just came out. The truck wouldn't start for the weirdest reason. Okay, it pretty much TLDR, truck wouldn't start because their theft protection device. They used spade connector instead of butt connector, and spade connectors just slide on, well, it fell off, and since they involve the ignition wires, truck wouldn't start. Okay, fine. So I called breakdowns, like, since you guys recorded this, I don't think it's fair to me to pay for this, since there's nothing I could have done to prevent it. And they told me to get a hold of shop. And I emailed shop, and to quote the email, well, paraphrase, but pretty close to the wording, I actually still have this email, it's just on my phone, which I'm recording off now, is, he said, breakdown should pay for this, but are they going to? No. So of course, we will pay for it, because yes, it's not fair, but they should, and they never will. So the way he worded that also confirms to me, like, everything is separate in this company, which is an issue in itself. Because also, that, I've had an issue pop up from that again, that's happened a few times, about 4 or 5 times, where that part they're paying for, between the tow and the labor involving the wiring and all that, was about $850. They were going to pay for that. Well, they ended up taking it away from me. And Boeing somehow immediately caught it. But the way JCT does things is, if they make a mistake, you don't get that money back to the following paycheck, the pay step, pay period, I mean. So instead of just issuing another direct deposit, because it was happened before, because I caught it. Pay period for JCT was Thursday to Thursday. Thursday to Thursday, but you see your pay stubs Wednesdays. Right before, the day before. That's how I caught it. And I called him, I was like, hey, what the hell is this? And that's when I talked to so-and-so and figured it all out. But like, when this happened to me my first time at night, they immediately issued another check, which got direct deposit at the same time. They just refused to do that. Don't understand why, because all it is usually supervisor approval, and obviously there's a fucking good reason, because I was at my fucking check. My last check with JCT, which is that one out of, was gonna be $1,500 and some change. Okay, not a very busy week, but okay. It was half that. How angry would you be if half your check's missing because of their screw up, and yet you gotta wait a whole another fucking week, which could make or break you for bills? See, I've had a few, couple $100, you know, like two or 300, but 850. It's not like a 2 or 300 where it's like, okay, whatever, you know, it's like 10%. That's 50 fucking % of my check, and you're just like, you gotta wait a week. That happened like about 4 to 5 times. Never to that extreme till just now though. Now I don't really get back because they like to nickel and dime over every little thing on their truck. So most likely that 850 is gone. It is what it is. I would have loved to have it, but whatever. Again, nothing to do with the truck. All my guys have been with JCT. Now, a couple of viewers have picked up on this and kind of inquired what the hell I was talking about. But I started in June because if you read your contract, you can sublease your truck. They do a credit check on you, credit check on the company, and the company has to agree to pay JCT, well not Hirschbach, I guess, the truck payment directly. I found a company, the company I'm with now, I found a company that said they would do it because it's hard to get trucks right now. Started that in June, it was like June 3rd, right? 2 months before I was gonna go home. Something like that, it was like 2.5 months or whatever. About a month and a half, because I went home in the end of July. And I left home in end of August. Yeah, they wasted 3 fucking months of not only my time and this company's time just to deny me for whatever reason. And luckily, I reached out to this company. I was like, hey, you know, I just want to let you know they denied. I don't know why. You know, I didn't want to burn a bridge because they made me look bad. Because I was the one that contacted the company and asked them, because they're not going to start the process unless you find a company that says yes. So I had to reach out and start this whole fucking headache just to be told no for some fucking reason, and waste 3 months. That 3-month thing is pretty much the one that pretty much broke my back for this company. I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. I was originally going to be like just stay at JCT till like next summer and then just finance his truck or finance that Freightliner or just figure something out. I have some things coming up in hopefully in the near future now that was going to help a lot of things, but after having a couple more minor communication issues and some things, I was like, I'm done. Just I got a hold of the company and I was like, hey, you know, you got a truck available? Because they told me, hey, you know, we got to keep checking. If we got a truck, you can come over. They wanted me to run for them, and I was like, they're like, if we got a truck, come on over. So within like a couple weeks, I asked, I was like, you got a truck? And they're like, yeah. I was like, when do you want me? An hour or in 2 weeks? They're like, yeah. I switched. As soon as they told me now, I told JCT give me back to the terminal. I told my DM why, and I was like, I'm done, dude. Which I think you kind of knew was coming anyways. Just a lot of my complaints, especially the minor stuff, have been, I mean, they're legit complaints, especially when you're a night runner. And I mean, for example, sorry, nose is bothering me now. I don't know what's going on. Last June, it's in Florida, Auburndale. I just did a load, or it was either just did a load, drop a load, or doing a reset. I don't remember exactly the behind exactly what was going on right there. But I got a pre-plan. I'd never been to the place. I pulled up on Google Maps and it was a residential street. I was like, alright, red flag, switch to reefer. And I know it was late for Oklahoma and the plan I was getting ready to go home. But I mean, within like 5 minutes of me getting a pre-plan, I sent him a message saying, hey, you know, well, questions like, what's the name of the business? You know, just popping up a residential street, etc. Like, normal question. Well, I never got a response because he had already went home in that fucking 5 minutes of me just typing them all up. And then I was like, I pretty much told overnight, I'm not taking this load until I get, you know, answers or any clarification here. And then a few hours went by, like 2 hours, and I sent another message because was like, what's going on? You know, trying to, is anybody answer me, etc. A couple more hours. Now I'm starting to get a little pissed. I was already pissed a couple hours later, you know, after the first 2 hours. Now I'm getting more pissed. Because I've been at like a little over 4 hours, I've gotten no response. Even after me trying to call them too. I didn't get a response until like 6 or 7 hours later, where a dude called me and he was like, sorry, and I was just laying into him. At that point, I didn't give a shit who was on the phone. I don't care if you're guilty by association or what. You got laid into. Because yeah, I missed a day. I got ignored for 6 or 7 hours for no real reason. It wasn't like I was being a little shithead. Pretty much to sum it up, 3 people got fired that night. I don't know how hard it's a fucking new overnight job, because clearly it's a fucking most impossible task for this company. You can ask overnight, or you can ask any JCT driver how they feel about weekends and overnights. You're not going to get a really good response. And I get it, you don't have as much power on overnights and weekends, but I've had a couple stories on this channel already about overnights and weekends. And why the fuck am I so itchy all of a sudden? Who gave me the crabs on my face? Take your shit back. Anyways, like, sometimes games get played, I think is the name of that video. There was a story involving a weekend person there. That's the type of shit I was dealing with. Like, I don't know how the fuck I got anything done at this company. Sorry. Like, when it was, like, if I just had to deal with day crew, because day crew, like, yeah, there was a couple of issues, but it was relatively pretty smooth. Like, me and my DM would get in a couple of heated moments, you know, disagreements, but, like, we didn't hold it against each other. Usually it's just emotions stirred because he said something some way and I said something in some way. I'm upfront. I say things with no real intention of hurting anybody's, you know, feelings, and it just, sometimes things get taken. I understand that. I know, shocker, me hurt feelings? No way. But I don't know, I could have switched the days. It was like, why? I'm on days now, I guess, so I guess I could have, but it's like, there was no guarantee that would have solved anything, so why try it when it's only going to probably solve half my problems? Because a lot of the appointment times are pretty early. So, I don't know. And there are some pros and cons. I mean, like, it did get a little better. My first year and a half, the pre-plans, I rarely had one on me before delivery. But I started being more proactive about it, and it started solving a lot of it, but it also started pissing people off. Honestly, though, this is why middlemen suck. I don't give a shit if I'm the driver who needs a pre-plan, especially when I'm paying for everything, and you say, hey, you know, in your orientation, we pre-planned you before you even delivered, and then you don't really fucking practice what you're preaching. So I start going around people directly to the source of where I get my loads from, especially when I'm trying to plan for fuel, or if I'm seeing if I can try to drop, and if I'm able to drop, then, you know, cool, grab a pre-plan. Don't complain about it then. Yo, planners, if you fucking pre-plan, especially to somebody who's always a fucking ahead of schedule. I was always ahead of schedule. Very rarely, maybe less than 10 times the last 2 years, I was either behind or right on, you know, on time for delivery. So if you have somebody that is consistent, just fucking throw a pre-plan on them. Especially when that driver lets you know, hey, I can't make it. But if you don't fucking like somebody calling to you directly or going over DM's head to get a pre-plan, then I don't know, maybe a fucking pre-plan? It's not rocket science. I complained about that like 4 or 5 times. Did it go anywhere? No. So I just kept going to planners. I was like, well, they got still just, they like hearing my voice, so they can just keep bitching then. What ended up starting happening is I pretty much started being a little bit more picky with planners that didn't work with me, or do their job correctly. Even if the planner and I would butt heads a couple times, as long as you did your job relatively pretty consistently, I was more willing to do things for you and kind of listen to you. But if I gotta fucking go to you just to get a load, no, I'm not gonna work with you. But the funny thing is about being one of the better runners, I was in the 1% for the miles burned, the loads, and everything. I was in the top 1%. Is they couldn't really not give me loads, because that'd be a lot of revenue they're hurting or missing out on. So they kind of had to just deal with me anyways, which kind of sucked for them, because it's like, yeah, they can fire me, but I'm worth more to them in the headaches than just to tell me to go fuck myself. Yeah, call them in, nice. This food truck, I guess, was here. The one that's pulling in the window was here for a while. And I guess he finally got his call telling him to come get at the door, which this place is behind, I guess. I mean, I will still, to this point, if you made it this far in this video, congrats. I will still, to this point, though, say, as a company driver, I would still recommend JCT. It's a lease purchase. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it's a company. We're really, you need to chase the miles. Yeah. They start at 60 cents, and I had no problems getting 11 to 13,000 miles on average every month. There was quite a few times, one every quarter, I would hit 14 to 15,000. Back in November and December of 2021, during holidays, I hit 15.5 and 15.7 in those 2 months. So I hit 30,000 miles in 2 months. Ended up hitting like 37,000 for that quarter, only because my truck refused to stay on the road for, about a month total. So I missed, 4 weeks in that whole quarter. Kind of blew, but it is what it is. But I know quite a few EV drivers will probably quit over some of the stuff I just mentioned anyways, probably one of them, so I guess you guys can understand why I just said, okay, I'm gonna write my loss in the truck, take some lessons learned, because I was doing everything right with that truck, especially the second year, but just apply it elsewhere, and I'm waiting for truck prices to drop. I'm not spending an extra $100 grand on a fucking new truck. Fuck that. That's what I'm waiting on. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there. Next time. Bye!